I know it is like super dark. Let me see if I can do a little something for y'all. There you go. Hey, you guys. It's your girl, Tina Wolf, bookwithtina.com. I am on the road. It's very early in the morning. However, I just wanted to come on and say be open to love. Be open to love. You guys know that I have been on this journey since 2015. I've been able to have a lot of wonderful experiences. Love comes in many forms, is what I have learned. Love comes in many forms, from family, friends, coworkers, and romantic mates. I want to shout out to the people that are going through or facing any challenges when it comes to making decisions to their romantic love life. If you are a person that is feeling discouraged or you are feeling indecisive, then this is your sign, this is your message to be open. And what I mean by being open is, okay, let me go back because I just felt an energy that's like, is like just let anybody up in here. I'm supposed to just let anybody in. No, no. Being open means sometimes when you create a protection and a barrier, and I'm very familiar, sometimes when you create a protection and a barrier, you build a prison for yourself. And you're trying to protect yourself from being emotionally, mentally, and spiritually hurt from a romantic experience. But in all reality, you aren't going to be able to see love. You aren't going to be able to be open. You don't even have your cage open. You don't even have a bar. Like at least on a jail cell, there's bars, right? So you can see through, you can reach through, you can peek out. So what I'm going to recommend to you guys that overprotectively have locked your heart space or your mindset space away from being completely and transparent, open to any and every possibility. I'm going to say this: being open, instead of creating a jail for yourself, create a translucent energy field around you that you can see out of, but then people can also see in. People should be able to see the love that you emanate. They should be able to feel the love that you emanate. And you should set an intention for your energy for the right people to be in your space. If you are operating off of fear of, if I just am open and vulnerable, then somebody's going to see me and then they're going to take advantage of me, then you're going to create just that. Why would you want to create that? What I'm learning is what you focus on is what is going to grow for you. So, in the past, at this point, you should have felt or you should feel as though you have learned enough lessons in relationships that you should be able to identify who is for you and who is not for you. This could be in any arena: family, friend, coworker, romantic mate. But like I also said, especially in the arena of romance, right? How do you remove fear of commitment? I have shout out to Marshawn Olanio, who actually helped me with this, which reminds me, she has a journal. If you go on, to Amazon, Marshawn is on there, and she has a wonderful series of books. I have quite a few of her books, but in particular, she has a journal. I will have to go back and post the link for her journal. Anytime I've had an issue with a fear of something, I would write it in her journal. And she gives you prompts. She makes you think, right? And she is a wonderful coach that can help you on an individual basis. So you're not internalizing the whole time. Get out whatever needs to be done. One thing that she helped me with many years ago, I think this was back in, I want to say 2020. It was 2020, back in 2020. something she helped me to get over was fear of commitment. I have never been a person that was afraid to love or take an opportunity to love or take a step, right, to be in love in a romantic relationship. The issue was once I got in the relationship, this is in the past, right? I would have a fear of loss. And it does shift and change your levels of commitment, not only to your partner, but it causes discord. So if you are a person that is considering being in a romantic relationship, here's a couple of things that I am learning right now while I'm single. I'm learning. This is what I have learned. Number one, most important thing, make yourself happy. Somebody posted on their Facebook, what do you do when you feel lonely, right? Um, Geez, this was like almost back in 2018. I did an experiment with myself to remove that. So I don't really feel lonely because I think lonely is perspective, but being alone and being lonely are two completely different things. So when you feel, to me, when you feel lonely, you can make irrational decisions out of desperation to be with someone, and you end up being with the wrong people because you're trying to fill a void with someone else that you're not feeling in yourself. That's why I said number one, make sure that you can make yourself happy. This is a part of what some people call self-love, right? An example of that would be doing things that you like. I started doing things that I like. I started painting. I started exercising. I started going to the park. I started eating the foods that I like. I started going places with friends. I started going places without friends. I started doing things with family. I started doing things without family. I started learning that when I was in a space when no one was available, what do? Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. I used to not want to go to the movies by myself and not go and do things by myself. I used to want to wait for somebody to be there before I did it, right? There are some things that I do, some experiences that I do want to have and share with another person that is very special to me in the romantic area. But some of those things I'm not waiting for. I'm going ahead and doing them. And when that person comes, I can still share that with them, right? So number one, make yourself happy. I'm going to say one more thing. Years and years ago, when I was dating someone, and I had set up, I was like, I'm going to be painting. You're more than welcome to join me with, painting if you like. And when he got there, he kind of was just like, I think I'm just going to sit here. You know, in the past, and this shows my growth on not feeling lonely, and it also shows my growth on not feeling like I need to force somebody to do what I want them to do. I just said, okay, I'm still gonna paint. I drank sipped on my wine. I did my painting. I had my jazz, and he just sat there and watched me. And at one point, he said, you know what makes me happy? And I said, what's that? He said, what makes me happy is to see you happy. Like, that is what makes me happy. It makes me happy to see you making yourself happy because it takes the pressure off of me to do it. And then I can just add to your happiness, right? And I'm like, that was one of the most wonderful gifts and compliments that I had been given. And I really held on to that like a treasure. And that comment actually empowered me even more than what I already, had been empowered. So that always stuck with me. And I thought, that's a great way to take the stress and pressure off of somebody, especially somebody that's in the romantic area. um, Fun, have fun. I love having fun. I don't like having boring situations. So if you're boring yourself, you're expecting the other person to come in and bring you fun. So you have to be fun yourself, right? So that's number one, right? Make yourself happy. What is number two? Number two, old school saying, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them, right? That's number two, right? Accept people just as they are. When you are in the process to getting to know someone, just observe. Just observe. Observe and see who they are before you try to transform them, make them transition into who you want them to be, because that will only lead to you being miserable. Facts. It'll lead to you being miserable. The reason I say this is you want to make sure that you are in alignment with this person as much as possible. If they have 15 things that you're like, oh my God, this person is wonderful. And I know a lot of people talk about the 80-20 rule, and I get that. However, there are some instances where that, even though they got all these wonderful 15 things, there may be this one thing that is super important to you to have and share that experience. And for you to have and share that experience trumps all the wonderful 15 things, because this is your deal breaker, right? This is the thing that you desire the most, right? Never lose and sacrifice what you desire. If that person doesn't have it, it's okay. It is okay if that person does not have it. There's another person out there that does. My friend and I were talking about how there are billions of people in this world. You will find your person, right? It might take you a little time, but you will find your person. So accepting somebody for who they are, observing, stop trying to change them and fix them. If you are a huge fixer, you're probably a person that needs to do a lot of fixing on yourself. I noticed that the balance in my life of trying to fix other people ceased and or minimized when I started doing the work for myself. I started bringing people into my space who were working on their self, and they just need, can I ask you a question? I need to confirm something. Or can you help me with this? Can you assist me with this? Not let me dump on you and then I want you to tell me what to do to fix it and then I take no action, right? And if you are in that particular space, you're a fixer. And being a fixer, you can't focus on yourself. Message. So number two, right, is accept people for who they show you. Believe them when they show you who they are, and observe them. Have a conversation with them and see how they go. If you introduce something to them or you suggest something to them and they give you resistance, right? Or some people say they give you pushback. Make a note. It's not your job to convince them. What you're giving them is your opinion and your suggestion. They don't have to take it. You may desire for somebody to take it because it's going to fit that notch. Even though they got these 15 things, that one thing is the thing that bothers you the most. You will be constantly trying to change that person for the rest of your life. No. Accept it and then just move forward, right? So number two, what are we doing with number two? Accepting people for exactly who they are, we're observing and making a decision. Can that person fit in my life? And that is for family, friends, coworker, romantic mate, but especially in the area of having a romantic mate, right? Or the arena of romance. Let's see if we can come up with number 3. So number 1 is make yourself happy. Number 2 is accept people for who they are. I'm going to touch on something real quick. If you're a person that's having a hard time accepting somebody for who they are, and you're wanting them to change, or that person gives you rejection, right? Let's talk about rejection for just a second. If the person is giving you resistance, pushback, and they are rejecting your offer of friendship, of romance, of opportunity, of, any of these type of things, rejection just means someone or something that has been dismissed due to not meeting standards. It means that you have not met their standard. Instead of saying, well, let me just fix myself, some things are fixable. But if the thing that you have is a habit for you, and you are not already in the process of changing it, you cannot expect that person to change. Whether that person is, whether the person, family, friend, coworker, romantic mate is asking you to change yourself, or you're asking them to change their self. Either way it goes, right? Whoever is requesting the change, you have to accept the answer no matter how challenging, disappointing it may feel. Because when you start trying to force somebody to be who you want them to be, or you start trying to force yourself to change and be who that person wants you to be, it will leave you to a space of misery. And when you start focusing on that other person so much that you are not focusing on yourself, that means that you are loving that person more than you are loving yourself. And when they don't make those changes in their life, you become miserable. But guess who else becomes miserable? The other person. They also become miserable. Why do they become miserable? Because you're constantly wanting them to change, or they're constantly wanting you to change, and you're not wanting it, right? So rejection, when you are accepting people just as they are, and you are observing, this is where, if you need to put any type of title to something, whether I see you as family, or I see you as my friend, right? Or I see that we are not aligned, and out of there. Either way it goes, right? Accept the title. And I know some people are like, but Tina, so you just cutting people off? You're not gonna work on, what about compromise? Compromise does not mean sacrificing your happiness. Compromise means all parties involved agree on a decision that they can both deal with. Period. This is a part of being open. This is a part of compromise. Because if at the end of the compromise somebody is unhappy, I guarantee there's going to be discord somewhere in the relationship with the family, friend, coworker, romantic mate. Okay, I'm done with that. I think I'm just going to leave those two, because I've given a lot of information just on those two. And I want you guys to kind of marinate on that. Think about that. Think about who this applies to in your life, and just love and appreciate, learn to love and appreciate the space that they are in. It is something that my friends and I have a wonderful understanding about. Like, we have a thing where we'll say, hey, I just need to take this space, or hey, I just, you know, I'm not aligned right now, so I need to get myself together. Or, we're not aligned right now, and we take this break. There's a clear understanding. There's a good compromise for that. You have to build whatever your boundaries are. I I don't argue with my friends. I don't. We have conversations, and when we disagree on something, we don't leave it unresolved. We fix it. Period. And that's what I love about my friendships. So, I hope you guys can build boundaries. I hope you guys can build boundaries within yourself and within the dynamics with your friends, families, co-workers, and also your romantic mate, where you guys can have wonderful compromises, agreements, right? That's all I have for you guys today. I love and appreciate that we are all growing together in this space. Make sure that you compliment at least 10 people a day, because you never know whose life you can change. You never know whose vibration you can raise up, and you never know what door of opportunity you can open up by simply paying a compliment. Remember today's homework, and if you need help, I can help you. Bookwithtina.com if you need help with an intuitive reading or coaching. But remember the top two assignments today, right? One, make yourself happy so that others don't have to. And number two, right? Oh, and when others do want to add to your happiness, be open to receive. Open to receive. And number two, accept people for just who they are. Don't try to change them. Just observe them and see where they fit into your life. I love you guys. Be great. Be awesome. And have a wonderful day. Love you. Tina Wolf. Mwah! Bookwithtina.com.